Yeah, I wanted to show you Dashcmnd, how I have it set up on mine. I have the app here on my iPhone. All I have to do is open it up and have it set up to automatically open up into the R56 dashboard, and it will basically automatically connect to the car. So all I have to do is open it up, and there you go. It also has other readings here for trip stats that I have set up here. Gives you your max and your minimum values. If you hold it down, you can go to different areas of the program. They have dashboards, gauges. You can set up your own personal gauges there that you want to have. You have a performance, quarter mile, eighth mile, 60-foot times. All you have to do is accelerate to start. In case you make a change and you want to take a look at see if anything, you made an improvement and you want to see if it actually did anything for you. You can read diagnostic codes here. You see my Mini actually runs pretty good for an N14. And you have your vehicle that you set up. And this menu here has the VIN. You have your advanced settings where you can put in all your gear ratios, your tire size, the weight, the curb weight, the additional weight, your RPMs. You can put all that information in there, and it will give you a pretty good estimate of your horsepower at the crank, torque at the crank. Right now it's reading, negative 8.7 boost, which is vacuum. It's giving us the torque and the horsepower here. So let me go ahead and drive out of here and see if we can increase those a little bit. So it looks like I got about 20 pounds of boost, 20.5, 289 torque, and 289 horsepower, basically 290 horsepower, which it has consistently done that. Air-fuel ratio, 11.5 was the minimum. So it gives you all your nice little fun facts down here. And you can also monitor all your gauges. Basically on here it's got temperature, your the coolant temperature, high pressure fuel pump, PSI, you have your voltage, you have your exhaust gas temperature, you have your air-fuel ratio, you have your your spark advance, you have your intake air temperature, and your outside air temperature, and of course your boost in the middle. Here's the standard dashboard for Dashcmnd. As you can see, it has a lot of functions here over the other dashboards. Gives you a lot of information, stats since last fill up you can put in. You can change each one of these for different coolant temperatures, intake, ambient temperature, their exhaust gas temperature, You have your fuel rail pressure. You can all take a look at it. Look at your air-fuel ratio. You can do data logging. All you have to do with data log is hold down and tap Start Data Logging. And it'll have saved in your log file management. You can also select a different dashboard, so you can download different dashboards here. I normally use this one here, which is my favorite. Gives me everything I need to know, or probably more than I need to know. I have a Manic Stage 3 tune on mine, so my coolant temperatures usually stay around 180. But it's a pretty nice little app here. Lots of good uses for a fairly cheap price. I think it's under $10 for the app. I think it might be free. I forget now. But for the adapter, I've actually upgraded to the Kiwi adapter, Kiwi 3, I believe it is. It's a Bluetooth adapter, and it works very well. All you really have to do is just plug it in into your obd-II port, and works very well. Very small. I think it's a little over $100, but it makes it very simple to operate. Here's a closer view of the app I use here, DashCommand for iPhone. They also have it for Android. It gives you all the gauges that you need to know about, or look at, care about. Yeah, sorry about that. I had to make sure I got up to speed to get on the interstate here. But that gives you an idea of, how the gauges work there. It also swipe it over and give you the trip stats, so you can see my max boost was 22 psi, 318 foot-pounds of torque, 194 horsepower, and that's going to be for the crank, because I actually had this thing dynoed at 244 wheel horsepower, so that gives you about the right percentage to go from wheel horsepower to crank. I mean, it could be off, but more or less you could use it for, say you do an upgrade for an exhaust. You could do a couple runs with an exhaust, the stock exhaust, and then go back and look at it on here and see if your horsepower or torque numbers change any. Maybe the boost, maybe you get some more boost because of the more of the better flowing exhaust. But this app is quite nice. I like it. This is a different setting you can get here, a different view, or a different dashboard. If you use the stock dashboard, it'll look like this here. It's pretty neat. Let's see, there we go. Gives you your throttle percentages. Tells you what your foot's doing, what the actual throttle body is doing. tell you your timing, your intake temperature, your coolant temperature, your boost that gives you the low and the high. Quite a lot of different things here. This has a whole bunch of other maps or sensors you can look at: mass airflow, intake, coolant, air-fuel ratio, ambient, your exhaust gas temperature there. They also tell you what gear you're in. So it'll tell us that we're in 6th gear, and your shift points. So that's pretty cool. Gives you your shift points, got the little gear shift pattern there. And back to the beginning there. So basically, all you have to do is select the dashboard here, and if you want to download one, you have to be connected to Wi-Fi, so it's not going to work here, but you basically download dashboards, you do a search. If you got an R56, you can just search R56, and it'll bring up some. You look at the ones you like here's a different view of one here that somebody had made up. Gives you a little different layout. I don't use it, but it's another option. You got this one here, the Venom Pacer. Gives you a little green centerpiece there for for people who like that. But the main one I like is this one here, R56 Mini Cooper S JCW GP2 LFA style gauges, full version, and that's totally free. So you just select that dashboard and stick it on there, and there you go. So yeah, like I said before, you got the data logging. All you gotta do is hit start day logging, and it'll log your pull or whatever. You can do a 3rd gear pull and see where everything lays out for you, and then you can go in here to your where your files are kept. All your data logs are inside there. You can have a tuner or whatever. You can have them email them the data log, and they can fix your tune to make sure it's running right, get the right air-fuel ratios. But yeah, all this stuff is pretty really neat to have. But it all works through my weak Kiwi adapter. Kiwi, I believe it's 3, and it's just connected through Bluetooth. And I paid a little extra for this one because I do autocross racing, and it works great with my track addict application here, and it'll pick it up. I also use a Bluetooth GPS with my track addict, and this also connects to my GoPro. So it'll, of course, it helps if you close that one down so it's not connected anymore. And then this one will be able to connect up here. So it'll tell you what car you have. It'll know the throttle and all the sensors. It records it for you. But anyway, that's what I use. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'm sure I'll have some more videos for you. Yeah, this is another great app that you can use for keeping your turbo or car lasting longer when you turn it off. You can make sure that your exhaust gas temperatures are around 1,000 degrees or less, and that would significantly make the turbo and the bearings inside the turbo last longer, because the oil wouldn't be sitting in there and just boiling. And yeah, maybe you have some synthetic oil, but if you're going to do that too much, it's really going to hurt that turbo. So it's a good idea to let the thing idle down. Let it idle once you stop, especially if you had been running it hard. You know, you could be looking at 1300, 1400 degrees in there. And I've just been coasting, and you can see that it hasn't even dropped all that much. So it's a good thing to use this app for. If anything, you know, if you monitor it enough, you'll learn how those sensors operate, and you know, if something isn't right, you get a check engine light, you can go back here and kind of look at things and see how the sensors are working. You know, if you have a sensor that's way off, then you kind of know that, you know, something's not right, and it'll kind of direct you towards the right path of you know, getting something fixed. But I think this is probably one of the best things you can do for your Mini. It doesn't read all the codes, but it will read most of them. It doesn't read like the half engine check lights. If you want to read every single code that the car makes, you'll have to get the Carly for BMW. Carly for BMW, that would be your best bet for checking all the codes in the car, and you can also use it to code the car, which is totally different than reading codes, trouble codes. And that app is really nice. You can, like, I have it where my speedo, my digital speedo on my tach stays there all the time. I never have to set it to show that every time I start up the car. It just automatically says that, and I did that through the Carly app, which is the Carly for BMW. That one really works great.